Breaking news from Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Romo. Some news came out that was quite disturbing. We have reached a time where the clock is ticking away, and everything we're seeing on mainstream media and social media, it's all distractions.
So how much of a disadvantage is America at now after all of this surveillance underway by communist China?
Well, this is certainly very difficult. I mean, we took effort to try to weed out Chinese technology within our telecommunication systems to try to protect our data, even as China continues to increase its hacking of, for economic espionage and espionage against our country. But as China tries to get a foothold in our country itself, the FBI, the administration, they've been more interested in saying that Americans are a threat to America than that China is a threat to America. And their priorities need to change, and certainly we're trying to impact that.
Well, that is just outrageous. American citizens are the threat. Covering up for Joe Biden, Biden's cabinet, the FBI, the media, and 51 former intelligence officials, all implicated for covering up what House Oversight Committee members suggest should be a decades-long influence peddling operation by Joe Biden and his family.
The bank records show the Biden family, their associates, and their companies received over $10 million from foreign nationals and their companies. Some of that money came from a Chinese company and went to Hunter Biden's company.
Has identified at least $10 million that the Biden family has taken in from foreign companies looking for inroads into America. Comer reporting that at least 9 members of the Biden family received income from foreign sources, with attempts made to conceal those large financial transactions through a web of LLCs, or limited liability companies, which accepted the wire transfers and then transferred them to Biden family members. Also, Chinese nationals were among those involved in hiding the source of the money. Chairman Comer also revealing that the Biden family received $1 million from a corrupt Romanian businessman, while then Vice President Biden pledged to clean up corruption in Romania. Let's talk about the China initiative. As soon as Joe Biden entered the White House, when he started his term as president, he canceled what was the China initiative. Did he get paid for canceling the China initiative?
Well, this is one of the policy decisions that Joe Biden made that makes no sense. The China initiative was an FBI operation that was investigating a spy ring in our colleges and universities, which just about every major university president in America would admit. Now, this has been happening for a decade. Every university president knows it. But when Joe Biden became president, one of the first things he did was cancel the China initiative because they said it was racially profiling these Chinese students in the United States. Now, why would he do something like that when every major company in America complains about China stealing our intellectual property? That's one of the biggest issues we have with China. And now we find out his family received millions and millions of dollars from the Chinese Communist Party.
It's $600 to $800 billion that corporations in America lose because of this this theft of intellectual property by the Chinese Communist Party. So you're here, and that is this cover-up. You have spoken with whistleblowers. You also spoke with an informant who gave you all of this information. Where is that informant today? Where are these whistleblowers?
Well, unfortunately, we can't track down the informant. We're hopeful that the informant is still there. The whistleblower knows the informant. The whistleblower is very credible. And all we're asking the FBI with respect to the Form 1023 is, what did you do to investigate this allegation? No president has ever been accused of the things that the Biden family's been accused of at a time when we have a country like China that's a huge threat to our national security, not just, as I mentioned earlier, stealing all of our research and development, intellectual property. They're also building up their military. They've got a cyber attack unit that's superior to anything that we can defend against in the United States.
Did you just say that the whistleblower or the informant is now missing?
Well, we're hopeful that we can find the informant. Now, remember, these informants are kind of in the spy business, so they don't make a habit of being seen a lot or being high profile or anything like that. This is a very serious accusation. All the FBI has to do is say, yeah, we looked into it and it wasn't a credible informant. but they won't answer our questions.
Are there whistleblowers or informants missing right now?
9 of the 10 people that we've identified that have very good knowledge with respect to the Bidens, they're one of 3 things, Maria. They're either currently in court, they're currently in jail, or they're currently missing. Because we have people that want to come forward, but honestly, Maria, they fear for their lives. Not only are the Biden lawyers and the Biden White House intimidating them, the media is trying to intimidate and discredit them. And we just need to get some cooperation from these different deep state bureaucracies that are standing in our way.
This is absolutely extraordinary, and it is stunning that some people are missing that you need to prove this. Who in the White House is intimidating these people? Do you know?
I do know. We're saving that for a later time. But I can tell you one thing that a lot of people don't know. When I issue a subpoena to a bank or to an individual, the second I issue that, Jamie Raskins gets that. And when we get information in from the bank or from any individual, they make 2 copies, one for the majority, which are the Republicans, one for the minority, which are the Democrats. And my biggest problem with the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee is they're acting as a criminal defense attorney for the Biden family. Not only are they not working with us, they're obstructing every step of the way. So the hurdles that our committee is having to overcome with the Democrats on the committee, with the Biden big dollar criminal defense attorneys, with the power of the White House, with the Department of Justice, with the FBI, there are a lot of options.
You're trying to understand who specifically is intimidating these people and why are they missing. What are you going to do at this point? If the FBI says we're not going to give you that document and you actually subpoenaed it, what is your next step? What can you do?
Well, we're going to end up in court, and I think we have a very compelling case in court to be able to win. But that's the strategy from day one. You know how slow the wheels of justice turn in America. So court to get information that we shouldn't have any trouble in the world getting from our government.
Yeah, is there anything you can do to move this along quicker? You're going to have to file
suit soon, right? We're going to move it along as quick as we can. Yeah, well, that's the judicial branch of government. We're the legislative branch. We're taking the executive branch to the judicial branch to try to get information that we should have already received.
Just our 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
It is Adam Schiff, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, who, as you pointed out on Friday, said that the intelligence community believes that Hunter Biden's laptop and the emails on it are part of some Russian disinformation campaign. Let me be clear. The intelligence community doesn't believe that because there's no intelligence that supports that.
Now, the House Intelligence and Judiciary Committees are taking depositions from the 51 former intelligence officials to find out why they signed that letter with no actual factual information. Get your take on the breaking news of the morning. And that was your colleague, James Comer, just telling us that the informant is missing. He's been talking with whistleblowers and informants, and now he can't find one of them. What do you think is behind this?
Well, this is certainly very disturbing. The FBI should be looking at these as evidences of a crime, but in fact, it appears the FBI is being, less than helpful, if not obscuring obstructing the congressional investigation.
What can you tell us about the 51 spies and your depositions? What have you learned?
We already have uncovered through the depositions an admission that from one of the 51 that this was done totally to create the talking point that you just played. In fact, these people signed on to a letter without any evidence whatsoever that there was any Russian intervention or that this was Russia misinformation, solely for the purposes of helping Joe Biden in his debate try to tell the American public that the Hunter Biden laptop wasn't real, when in fact now we know that it's real. And all of the evidence of financial transactions, which are highly questionable there, are real. We had Brennan, the former CIA director, who, along with Clapper, the head of the ODNI, was one of the big perpetrators of the Russia hoax against the Trump administration, who admitted in his deposition, well, this was just political. Well, what that translates to is that this was just a lie. That Joe Biden knew that he was lying. Joe Biden knew that he was lying to the American public, and he used these 51 who had, past credentials and intelligence to claim that something was Russian misinformation when in fact it was absolutely true. And there's unexplained infusions of money into the Biden family that really has no cause and understanding. At this point, it looks like criminal activity.
Do you understand what they just said there? Do you understand that this is set up? Rights and everything depend on the U.S. Constitution and the checks and balances it provides. And we no longer have checks and balances in government. We have tyranny. We have a tyrannical dictatorship. Did you watch Maria's face? Did you watch when they were telling you how the biggest threat to the U.S. is the American people? Who would make that kind of statement? And what do they mean by that kind of statement? The American people, we are the United States of America. We the people. We the people are the United States of America. So that must mean this government is not our government. If we're a threat to it, now this is even shocking. Maria got quite a shock. The people who came forward to speak out, to try to save our country, the whistleblowers, they're missing. They're missing. They fear for their lives. The words they said. The White House is intimidating. The media is intimidating. Who is Raskin, this little Democrat? He's running around. So this is how the system works. Both parties are supposed to work together for the people. The people now they claim are a threat to the country. The people aren't a threat to the country. We are the country, like I told you. So as soon as Homer makes a move, Raskin is notifying the White House, and they immediately start intimidating people. He's going to go through the courts. Courts are slow rolling. What's the purpose of slow rolling all this? What do they intend to achieve? This has been completely violated.